How you been, man? Hey, I appreciate you for taking the time. I know it's crazy out there.
Nah, man. Like I said, you know, money. Like I'm like, you want to talk to me? I'm gonna make it happen.
Word. That's what's up. There we go. Yeah, we ready to go? So I'm gonna make us live. Yeah, let me see, get it going. Hey, yeah, Eric, so I moved over to YouTube Live just to get it popping and the production value up a little bit.
Okay, so everybody from Instagram would know.
Yeah. I do a little pre-party, and I was over there letting everybody know to come over.
Okay, I got you. All right.
So that's how we do it. OD, you want to start it? Nah, I just made it public. Can you see it from YouTube, Tanti? Okay. I'm just gonna start this. Go back to the stream. Get it together. Yeah, I did. Man.
Yeah, I'm kind of bugging out that it's so crispy right here. Maybe because the light coming through this room, because it's crispy. You're right. It's
right, and that's the way to that's the way to go with it, right? Hey, you said you got an iPhone? I think he got a Samsung.
How do I stop somebody from calling?
Say that again?
How do I stop somebody from calling? Because somebody was calling. Did you stop talking or no? Yeah, it did.
Yeah. So when that happens, like on your phone, there's a notifications button that I normally press to get people to stop calling. Yeah, it's called a do not disturb button.
I don't want to go. I want to go into it. I just keep pressing decline.
Yeah, it's good. All right, so I'm about to OD. I'm about to start it again, and then let's yeah, it's the same key. I'm about to press public. Yeah, I can see it. I can see it. So we should be good. We on? All right, you want to start the intro? No, I'm saying, are we seeing, or can we? Okay, good. Go ahead. Like I said, man, this is live TV.
It's the Goin Back Show with Money Beat, classic hip hop, raw and uncut.
Like I said, once again, I appreciate Eric Sermon taking the time. OD, let's get this thing popping. This is the Goin Back Show.
No problem.
Let's go. Okay, so E-Double, Eric Sermon, appreciate you taking the time and joining the show, man. How's it going out there? Besides everything that's happening.
Yeah, the whole storm came up, started from the islands, came up from the south, and it came the whole north. So New York got hit. Well, where I live at, Long Island got hit really hard. So this is my third day being out of power.
Right, and I was trying to pronounce the name of it. What's the name of the storm, actually? Isaias or some shit like that, right?
Icy.
Yeah, I'm just gonna let it be what it is. But I will have to say, because I know you lived in Atlanta for a long time. I think I'll probably take the storm over what's going on in Atlanta. I don't know.
Well, hey man, my mom's lived there. She called me to tell me about me to see if I was going to be safe, because she said the Atlanta, it came to Georgia, but it lasted like 15, 20 minutes and it was gone.
Yeah, I'm more or less talking about how they just going crazy, opening up.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah. No, I understand you. I know Atlanta. I mean, it ain't just, don't forget that big, you in LA too. Some football player had some big mansion party. There been no mask was on there. That's Cali. I don't know if you saw that.
No, yeah, Todd Teasy actually told me about it, and you're probably like me, man. We do our music, and obviously you with the production, we in the house most of the time, right? So
Exactly.
it's kind of like business as usual, but it's just
Yeah,
weird to
yeah.
see.
I'm not really weirded out with this COVID thing because I wasn't the type of person to be hanging. I never was that person.
Yeah, never really out there. So it's just kind of tripped me out to see people with these big pool parties and, like you said, mansion parties and getting mad because they got to wear masks in the store and all of that. That shit is
No, but
funny.
there's people actually dying. The scary part is the fact that no matter what you think or whatever you might, your opinion is real. It ain't like it's
Right.
fake. You know what I'm saying? So no matter what your opinion is, it's real. People actually are dying. People are actually sick. And we lost people in the rap game, like Fred the Godson, rest in peace, and a few other players, like Townsend lost his moms. You know what I mean? Like this shit was real.
Right. And it's always great to hear it from legends like yourself, because I preach it every day. Like people need to take this stuff serious, especially in our communities. But I think more of us need, and the OGs and us older folk need to let these people know, like, man, it
And
is real.
listen, honey, you know that even though I was kind of out there as far as the girls though, but as far as when I was young, but as far as being smart, I was always kind of intelligent. And like you said before, we kind of don't forget when you're young, it's hard to
Yeah.
tell a young dude, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying, like that something is real. You know what I'm saying? Because
Right.
as you see on Instagram, these young artists and people are like, yo, I don't believe in this, the conspiracy theories. So all of it, like it's so many, we got the president saying whatever, nobody, so you have all these views. So people are gonna come up with what they feel that some people don't really believe it at all.
Right. Yes, I get it. And we just hope that people do the right thing. And really it's what's making it last longer is people that if everybody could just sit down just for a little bit, I think it would start to succeed and we'd be all right. But
See, yeah, we think the same way. See how simple that is? If you
yeah,
just sit down, then you see that it works, we can get better. But if you don't, we're gonna be in the same situation.
and that's what it is. But you brought up about being young, how it is to be young. So let me just go back to when the very first time I met you was in 1989. I don't know if you remember this. We were going to Germany. We did this big festival, BCM thing in Germany. It was our first time talking about Digital Underground leaving,
Okay.
and we had to catch a plane with you and Paris to go from one part of Europe to the next.
Okay.
And obviously, me and Shock both were huge fans, and we were just in awe about how much fun it seemed that you guys were just having together. You guys were just laughing, joking. Everything was a joke. I don't believe you guys stopped laughing from the time we saw you in the airport till we got to where we were going. Is it still that fun for you, or just talk about it?
Me and Paris knew about y'all because of the spinning. It has to be death. Like so.
Yeah.
Y'all always made fun of EPMD. Like so, I knew that y'all knew who we were too. Like as far as but I remember being on the tour with y'all though too. Like in the beginning stages, I was on a few shows with y'all like early in the beginning on the road, and
Right.
I remember it being a real good time. Again, you're young, you don't really know. You got all these fans, people know you in these cities. And again, those women, like it was like, the girls everywhere, you know what I mean? Like people can say what they want to say, but that was the whole thing, man. Like the money was even kind of second though, too, because it was like, oh shit, we famous? Like fame was another whole type of drug. You know what I'm saying? Like people not to understand what fame is. Fame is, it's something else, but it's not for everybody. But again, in the beginning, we was young kids, not really knowing what was going on, but could understand some of it.
Right, but it's just like, like I said, I had fun just watching y'all have fun because it was
right,
and it kind of reminded me of how me and Shock used to interact back then. We were just silly. Everything was a joke, and like you said, we didn't know we were getting into it. But as you were having this fun, you were kind of not even creating, but you were of the time the dynamic duo, right?
Right.
And it's not many, and from where I stand, it was you guys, and at the time, the Jungle Brothers. You could think about Tip and Fife, Tribe Called Quest, but the original dynamic duo was Run-DMC, and I believe
Right.
we're of the same age, and we came up. They were it. When
Everything.
Run-DMC hit,
Everything.
they changed it, right?
Yes.
Talk about Run-DMC's influence on EPMD.
Yeah, well, me and Paris, when we made the demo record, that was
Right.
us going to the city from Long Island, which is an hour, and a car that we made. So that demo song is a real song and
Okay.
the real, occurrence. But we was driving to Manhattan to look to get a demo deal, but also to buy sucker MCs. Because
Oh, word? Nice.
yeah, our record store didn't sell it where we was at. So we had to drive to the city to go get the 12-inch. So, but Run-DMC was the biggest influence because, again, I heard DMC speak about being on MTV. Don't forget, it was mad people before all of them, but Run-DMC was the first one to be on television, and then
Right.
to see how they looked and how they dressed in the whole nine. So me and Parrish had something to go on, even though we, mostly my influence was Rakim number uno, KRS-One, MC Light, Rakim, Bismarcky. Those are the ones that came before me that I knew I wanted to do it. But Run-DMC, as you can see, Leo Cohen, which was the head of Def Jam with Russell at the time, said,
Right.
we're gonna take their name, because EPMD was spelled EPEE MDEE. So it was, crazy spelling. So
Right.
Russell was like, we're gonna spell it with the 4 initials, but kind of do the Run-DMC logo with the block, with the line.
With the line, yeah.
I'm like, Russell, you can't take Run's shit. He's like,
Right.
he said, that's my brother. Don't worry, I talked to him. You know what I mean? So there was no secret. This is my first time telling this. This was no secret that EPMD wasn't Run-DMC. EPMD, Run-DMC. Like we mirrored our whole shit around them.
Right. So, and I'm not sure if you've ever heard this story before, but I want to get your thoughts on it. So I interviewed DMC years ago, right? And he told me that when he first heard you guys, and I think he said he heard
Kane.
No, it wasn't Kane. It was DMC. He said he heard what's the one where you're rapping out 5 minutes of funk?
Houdini?
No. DMC was DMC from Run-DMC.
Yeah, I know.
He was telling me that he was listening to EPMD, and when he heard you guys rhyming,
okay. He was checking out "It's My Thing."
Yeah, it's my thing. I know. I'm sure.
Right.
So when he said when he heard "It's My Thing," he said he called Run, and he was like, "Yo, we're done. It's this new shit." He's like, "Niggas is rapping over the original shit."
Yo, I need that interview because I heard about that. Cause see, I heard the Kane story. I heard, because I got something on tape where he says his man brought him over Big Daddy Kane, and when he heard Big Daddy Kane, he knew like Run-DMC was finished. But now I'm hearing the EPMD one. I never heard that one, but I heard about it.
I'll send it to you. He said it. I got it. So
because once we came out, the tour was getting ready to start, and Run called his brother and said, "Russell, get those EPMD guys." So Run came and got us, and we rode on Run-DMC's tour bus, 1988, on the Run's House tour. EPMD, Public Enemy, Jaggy Jeff and the Fresh Prince, Run-DMC. So that was almost like a dream because I couldn't believe it. Like, oh my God, we don't have money for a tour bus. And they said, no, you can ride on our bus. So we had the bottom bunks though, but I watched Adidas walk by my head every day. You know what I mean? So who the fuck?
Yeah, but that's dope. He said, man, when he heard that, because he was like, because you remember, you know, I always look at hip hop like there was the era when it started, when they were remaking, the bands were remaking the funk songs and everybody was he felt the shift heavy because it was going back to niggas rhyming over the samples and all of that.
Yeah.
So and I always heard, was it Marley who kind of like made it popular or introduced? Like, when did you first hear sampling on records, and when did you kind of realize that you could use that?
Well, Run-DMC sampled Mardi Gras for my Adidas, so they was already sampling from the beginning. You know?
Yeah,
what I mean?
But can I stop you? They didn't sample it. Jay was cutting it because he let it play, and then we get on beat and then he stopped it.
Okay, the first time
I'm talking about a loop sample.
Like real sampling was when I heard Biz Marquis' "Nobody Beats the Biz." I lost my mind.
Okay.
With the boom, 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 doo, 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 doo.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I was, because I ended up using the that same Steve Miller Band in the
Steve Miller Band,
and You're a Customer.
Right.
So, you know, so I learned by hearing those records, but I gotta say, Biz Marquis and Rakim didn't sample over like a fat rap, but the bass line was played over like a fat rap. So again, and so again, I think that Biz Marquis sampling with rhyming with Kane, rhyming with Biz. So listen, 80, do the James, all that shit that came out in 80, 86 on. So that was, but 88 was the era of just massive incredibleness. And then you know, the Humpty, EPMD and the Humpty Dance are the most sampled samples in hip hop history. I think Humpty might beat us on the drums by maybe about 400 or 500 because I use the Humpty Dance. I'm giving away everything right now because you want to vote.
Right.
I use the Humpty Dance for DOS Effects twice.
I didn't even know that. I
used the Humpty Dance in Time for Some Action, Headbanger, Crossover, Gold Digger, all of it's the Humpty Dance.
You're lying. And what's crazy is Crossover. I used to bang that.
And Redman, Blow Your Mind, the first single, the remix is the Humpty Dance.
That's crazy. I know the one that kind of blew my mind. And like you said, like you can, because you use the drums, right? And if you tune out the bottom, you can hide it because it has the Sly and the Family Stone break in it, right? Because that's what a lot of people wanted to have that feel.
It was the Humpty Dance was just, it was the base for everything else to move and sound heavy. So it was used as the undertone for the, you know, for the hardness.
Yeah, because I know when PE, when Public Enemy did Can't Trust It, and then LL used it for Mama Said Knock You Out. I was like, wow.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah. And then everybody, I'd be like, you know, that's the Humpty Dance in there. They was like, for real? But, you know, we loved all of it, man. And
y'all became, like, y'all really loved hip hop because I'm like, yo, these guys ain't even coming. Because that's how I felt. Like, on You a Customer. You know how many times you a customer? Like, I'm like, yo, like, but people just paid us because the publishing company automatically caught it. So we was getting paid. I was getting paid from everybody that used it. But I don't know about if it caught it for y'all though. But You a Customer in the Humpty Dance was, I mean, tortured.
Yeah, and I don't think we approached half the people. You know, obviously that would like you said, that would have been the publishing. But
no,
you know,
I think I saw an interview with you and Shock saying that y'all just love the culture. You know what I mean? Fuck it.
Because you know what another record that's ours, and more specifically mine, is that, you know, we had Raw Fusion, me and DJ Fuse. but that the 6 Million Ways to Die, choose one. That's from my record. That's
Stop lying.
Yeah, that's my guy, Courtney. Shout out to Under
No
P. He said
way.
that shit. Yes. Everybody thought it was Cuddy Ranks because he used it and then everybody used it from him, but that was my fucking record on Hollywood Basic.
No, but I
6
thought Dr. Dre made it. I thought it was something that they did in the studio.
Nah, that was us. And we
6
never
Million Ways to Die, choose
one. Because I can send you my record because you can hear the laugh go through to the record and then he's
I can't even
talking.
hear. I gotta play it now.
He's all through my record. Yeah, I'll send you. It's the name of the record is called Don't Test. It's on the first Raw Fusion album. And what's fucked up was because I was fighting for it to be our first single. And let me tell you something about that sample, right? The night we recorded that song, like, you know, you have the overnight sessions from like midnight to 8 a.m., right?
Yeah.
So I remember leaving the studio with the tape and I went home and then that morning, Tupac and Stretch came by my apartment, Big Stretch, who used to run with it, right? And I was like, yo, I just did this shit.
All right, Big Stretch.
I played it. Yeah, I played it from Live Squad. I played it and Tupac was like, yo, he's like, I don't know about that record. He's like, just from that intro, that shit is dope. And then so I tried to make it our first single and Hollywood Basic fought it because I was looked at as like the pop, I don't know if you want to say the supposed to, you know, like commercial guy or whatever, and they really wasn't feeling it. So it just kind of got lost. And then when people started sampling it.
Well, Money B, it ain't your fault that I Get Around is one of the biggest hip hop records of all time, regardless, period.
Yeah, so they wanted that. They didn't want to hear me talking about Don't Test Me and 6 Million Ways to Die. So they didn't.
Hip hop, because no matter what, if that's what you see and you're around it, then that's you.
Yeah, I mean that's how I figured it, but it didn't happen. So, you know, long story short, I feel like because we were such fans of hip hop, we didn't really think about suing motherfuckers and all of that and trying to go after them. We just thought it was dope that people were sampling our record, but we probably missed out on a lot of publishing because after so many years, you know, you go back, it can only go back so many years, right? And it just never caught up. But that right now, that's just a fun fact that you know, like 6 Million Ways to Die.
I never ever. I could have sworn that was in Snoop Dogg's record just because.
Nah, go back and listen. And when you hear Don't Test by Raw Fusion.
Because you know why? Because in Snoop Dogg's record, it's a Jamaican in there. So I figured that everybody thought it was him.
Right. Nah. So, and trust me, the guy who actually said it, he used to sweat me. Like, yo, you know, Jamaican, my money. And I was like, bro, I didn't get it. You know what I mean? That's just one of the things, you know, one of those things you just go back to.
Yeah, so, that's something everybody never knew. Because I just found out where Step Up came from.
Right.
It took me a while. I asked Premier told me.
You know who used it first, right?
Who used it first?
In hip hop, it was Positive K. And
Positive, you know, see, that's where everybody got it from. They got it from Positive K because when I asked DJ Premier, he said, "No, I got mine from Positive K."
Right. But then we got ours from Premier because it had the little other part of the sample that Premier used in his record. So Shot got it from Premier, even though we knew.
So that sound that comes after it is in the sample? Wow.
Yeah. So that comes from Premier's joint.
Wow.
Right? Because we knew about the Paz K, but Shot wanted that extra sound in it.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, it goes that. You could hear just a bit of it at the end of the sample. And, you know, a lot of people, and you know, we get into the production talk, but people don't realize just that little extra sound that you get in the sample makes the record sometimes.
But it does, because I'm thinking in my head that y'all put that there. Now you're telling me something I didn't even know as a producer. That's part of the record. I didn't even peep that.
Go back and listen. Go back and listen to the Gang Starr record.
I can hear it now in my head. I can see now.
Yeah, it has a little bit of that in it. You know what I mean?
Crazy.
So yeah, and I mean we're gonna play a little game because I know you know about all your samples and stuff. So when did you actually start producing? Like Were you always the producer from the beginning when EPMD started?
Parrish and I thought that every record you heard on the radio or you heard from any artist, we thought they made the record. So we had no idea that there was a thing called producers. We never even knew what that was. We just made records because we thought that you made the records. We didn't know that somebody else made records. So we didn't know what we were. We just made the records. We just had records around the house, records from our parents, and breakbeats and stuff, and we looped them. And the next thing you know, we was known as producers.
Just put it in there. And it took me a long time to figure out, or me and Fuse to figure out how they were making those records sound like that. Because we had like the EPS. What was your first equipment that you used to make those records?
I only had back then we was in the studio with just a quarter-inch tape machine. We used to loop the tape around the room. That's why we get looped it from. When you hear us say looped it, that was us taking tape, looping it around the room, around a chair, pencil, and then recording it back to tape. Because we didn't have no machine that sampled where we was at. It was old school. So again, so I didn't. When I started getting my own machine, it was 1990, and that it was a Roland W30, and I never liked the SP1200 or nothing like that with a drum machine because I play. So I wanted to have something in front of me where I can do this to. So I was able to, so I like workstations. And as you can see, the ASR-10 was famous with the RZA, Kanye West, Timbaland, like the workstation was my favorite. But I had the ASR-10, but I was already working on the W30. The ASR-10 had way more sample time. I only had 15 seconds. I made all that shit you heard with 15 seconds.
Nice. Our original sampler was the Esonics EPS. Remember that?
I think Lord Professor had that too.
And Shock, he did like most of the sex packet stuff, and even Humpty Dance on the it was a Roland keyboard. I forget the name of it.
Yo, stop lying. So he rocked with a Roland. See, you don't even know that. Like, so he rocked with a Roland. He chose the Roland, like me.
Yeah, he had the Roland. It was the Roland keyboard. I forget which one it was. But what's so crazy is because we were like, Shock is a musician, so he would just do a 32 bar pass because he just wanted to play freely.
Hold on. Can I stop you 1 second?
Sure.
Yo, Money B. Your label didn't say shit for y'all having 30-minute records. Like, like, yo, y'all didn't stop the fucking record, man. The records was like 8 minutes, 10 minutes, 9 minutes long.
Yeah, I think Do What You Like, the original mix of it was like 14 minutes. But you remember that's how records started. Remember fucking Super Rhymes and Sugar Hill Gang? That shit was like 15 minutes.
15 minutes long. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Those. So even when we did Do What You Like, we purposely made it long like that. And we and Shock was innovative. He did he made the record dip. So he's like, this is for radio, and now we're gonna go back into the mix. You know what I mean? And went back up into the long shit. But back then we weren't thinking about singles. We were just making the music. And however long the music was. But I just remember when we were making sex packets, like all Shock was listening to was Slick Rick and EPMD. That's the whole shit was just about that.
Hold up, Money B, stop you right there, yo. The Adventures of Slick Rick, when I tell you my cassette tape, you couldn't read it no more. Like, it was a white with the black lettering. You couldn't read my letters no more on the cassette. When I got my hands on that, I didn't think something could sound like this. As far as, again, it was mostly a drum machine by Larry. Larry's God was dead. He was a genius. Houdini, Slick Rick, Run-DMC. Like, this man, I wish I would have met him. But I didn't think nothing could sound that way. And Slick Rick, the way that he with the way that he was able to tell a story, the wordplay, the style, yo, I mean,
right.
you shouldn't have never. I'm sorry to get like that, but that man right there, when I tell you,
right,
he is one of the. Rakim was my number uno.
uh-huh.
But if I was stuck somewhere, I would bring that Adventures of Slick Rick.
Word, yeah, I'm rocking guy Kane as well. So if you really, because like if we're giving up the secrets, if you really dissect Sex Packets, the album, Humpty was a direct descendant of Slick Rick, right? Just the whole flair and being flashy and just the character, right?
Wow.
The way me and Shock kind of played off each other and interacted was absolutely EPMD.
Wow.
And then if you listen to but if you listen to, because a lot of people like when I write, they like, Lil, I love, people recognize, how you do the ad libs to your records. And,
yes.
And kind of like, well, that came from me being a huge Jungle Brothers fan because they used to just ad lib crazy. And so we put all that together because that's really what we was rocking to at the time. And so it was just, we didn't even try. That's just how it came out.
Maybe, have you ever told the Jungle Brothers that? Because they would really be like, really dope to hear you say that. Like, the people don't really say that about the Jungle JBs. The people love them, but the fact that you from the West Coast was like that with them?
Bro, like my whole thing was the Jungle Brothers. They were like, when they was rocking, that was 88 or whatever.
It was 88.
That was my everything was 88, right? 88, one of the greatest years in hip hop.
One of the years, the best years. We've never seen that much talent at one time come out in 1 year. Unheard of.
It's amazing for hip hop to be such a small community at the time and for so many classic albums to come out in 1 year.
In 1 year.
I'm just telling people out there to go back and do your history, 1988.
It's on Google. When you press
greatest.
Google, it says the best year in hip hop. Not taking nothing from the golden era of the 90s of Tribe and De La and the Redman and Wu-Tang and all that. But the 1 year, in this 1 year, the best of the best around the world came out.
Right. So, and I've had Mike G on my show.
Including MC Hammer.
Word. I'm glad you brought that up, right? So obviously being from Oakland, right? You know what I'm saying? Hammer was moving and grooving, but there was always a rumor going around in Oakland that you guys had some kind of conflict or confrontation with Hammer at one point.
Oh man, no, it was a big one, man.
It was a big to-do. What happened? Tell me the story. Because I never knew because I used to live next to I was neighbors with two big MC, his Hype Man and his DJ the Twins. And they were like, yeah, man, we bought, but they could never really tell me the story. And I was like, what the fuck happened?
Well, I love Hammer. And I appreciate the tour we went on tour together for like maybe a month and a half. Phenomenal tour. And we had Vanilla Ice open up for us. But I think towards the end of the tour, the last 5 days, my dancer Fendi used to always jump on the speakers. So I guess in these last cities, Hammer brother, Louis Burrell, and somebody else was saying, yo, man, tell your dancers stop jumping on the speakers because those are our props, right?
Right.
So I'm like, yo, man, damn, we having a good time. The stage is the stage. It was not taking nothing from y'all, but me and Paris was hot. We was tearing shit down, but you Hammer too,
Yeah.
So again, I tell my dancer, yo, try